There was a time when being a British man meant certainty. A time when the world felt stable, predictable, and familiar. A time when the future felt open, not suffocating. But look around the United Kingdom today, and you can feel the quiet collapse, the heaviness, the exhaustion in people's eyes. Something has shifted, something deep, something almost spiritual. You can sense it on the streets of London, in the train stations of Manchester, in the pubs of Glasgow, in the quiet houses of Wales. British men are carrying a weight they never asked for, a weight that keeps growing, invisible from the outside, but crushing on the inside. This video asks a question most people avoid. Why are British men silently leaving the UK and building new lives in Southeast Asia? Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, even Laos. Why are so many British men turning away from their homeland, searching for peace on the other side of the world? This is not a story about holidays or beaches or cheap living. This is a story about escape. Men who are quietly drowning in loneliness, stress, pressure, and emotional starvation. Men who feel like strangers in the place they were born. This is Brexit 2.0. The personal Brexit, the emotional exit. The silent departure of British men from a homeland that no longer feels like home. Most British men will never say it out loud because British culture punishes vulnerability, but many feel deeply alone. The kind of loneliness that doesn't appear in statistics, the kind you carry in your chest like a stone. In the UK, a man can go through an entire day without a single warm conversation. People hurry, people avoid eye contact. People live behind screens, behind walls, behind emotional armor. A man can live in a crowded city and still feel invisible. In Southeast Asia, that invisibility disappears instantly. People talk to you, they look at you, they smile. They acknowledge your existence. For many British men, this is the first shock. A simple smile from a stranger in Bangkok. A warm welcome from a family in the Philippines. A gentle conversation in Cambodia. It feels disarming, almost unreal. Many British men realize how starved they were for basic human warmth. Then there is the financial suffocation. Britain used to be comfortable. Now it feels like a machine built to drain you. Rent devours your income. Groceries rise every month. Energy bills punish you. Taxes feel endless. You work more and get less. Even with a decent salary, you feel like you're sinking. There is no room to breathe, no room to dream, just survival. And if you fall behind once, even by a few weeks, the entire system turns against you. Many British men describe the feeling of being trapped in a cage with walls closing in. In Southeast Asia, those walls fall away. Life becomes affordable again. A man can breathe, a man can live. Not in luxury, not in fantasy, just with dignity. In Thailand, in Vietnam, in Malaysia, a man can afford a decent home. He can eat without calculating every pound. He can reclaim the simple pleasures Britain stole from him. Coffee, a walk, a meal outside, a normal life. For many, this financial freedom is not about money. It is about escaping constant humiliation. But the deepest reason British men are moving to Southeast Asia is emotional. The UK is a culture that trains men to hide everything: pain, fear, loneliness, desire, sadness. Men grow up learning to stay quiet, to endure, to pretend, to stay strong even when breaking inside. But a man cannot hold everything forever. At some point, the silence becomes poison. British men are carrying years of unspoken frustration, betrayal from partners, isolation from modern dating, fear of divorce courts, fear of false accusations, fear of losing everything. Many feel safer being alone than risk being destroyed emotionally or financially. This isn't paranoia, it's lived experience. In Southeast Asia, relationships feel different. Human, warm, soft Cambodian women. Filipinas, Thai women, Vietnamese women. They respect men in a way British men no longer experience. They value emotional presence, not perfection. They offer tenderness instead of confrontation. They see men not as opponents in a battlefield of gender politics, but as partners, protectors, and companions. For British men who have spent years feeling judged, dismissed, or replaced, this emotional shift feels like oxygen. For some, it feels like salvation. British men are also escaping a cultural darkness growing at home. The UK has become a nation of quiet despair. Depression is rising. Anxiety is rising. Suicide among men is rising. The NHS is collapsing. Communities disappearing. Cities becoming hostile. The sense of national identity dissolving. And yet, no one talks about the emotional cost. No one admits what men are facing. You are expected to man up, even as the ground crumbles beneath you. In Southeast Asia, men feel something forgotten. Purpose. They feel needed. They feel respected. They feel human. Another reason British men leave is relational decay. Dating in the UK feels like a war zone. Endless games. Mistrust, coldness, emotional distance. People treat each other like disposable options. Apps destroy men's confidence. Many British men feel they are competing in a system designed for their failure. Meanwhile, in Southeast Asia, connections feel natural. Women are feminine without shame. Men can be masculine without apology. It doesn't mean it's perfect. It just means it feels human again. Let's talk about specific countries. In the Philippines, British men find warmth, loyalty, humor, and family-oriented partners who value emotional closeness. In Thailand, men find softness, femininity, respect, and a peaceful daily rhythm. In Vietnam, they find intelligence, stability, dedication, and grounded family values. In Cambodia, they find innocence, vulnerability, gentleness, and the deep calm of a culture that avoids conflict. In Malaysia, they find modern living, safety, Muslim family values, and structured relationships. In Indonesia, they find cultural depth, kindness, spiritual calm, and quiet partnership. Even in Laos, they find untouched simplicity, sincerity, and a slow life that heals the soul. Every country offers a different kind of peace, but they all share one thing. They make British men feel alive again. There is another truth British men avoid admitting. The UK dating market has psychologically broken many of them. Years of rejection, loneliness, ghosting, conditional affection, and transactional relationships have left scars. Men lose their sense of worth. They stop trying. They stop hoping. Some stop believing they even deserve love. In Southeast Asia, many realize they are not the problem. They were simply in the wrong emotional environment. But the darkness doesn't end there. British men are leaving because the UK has become spiritually empty. There is no meaning. Everything is political. Everything is expensive. Everything is stressful. People walk around like ghosts, eyes dead, hearts tired. The laughter feels forced. The joy, artificial. In Southeast Asia, life is raw, human, imperfect, but real. You hear children playing in the streets. You smell food from local markets. You feel the sun. You feel community. You see smiles that aren't forced. British men rediscover a sense of life they thought they had lost forever. Some British men leave because they are running from pain, failed marriages, betrayals, loneliness, depression, PTSD, addiction, burnout. They arrive in the Philippines or Thailand or Vietnam carrying emotional wounds they never healed. And for the first time, they find a place that doesn't judge them for breaking. Women who listen, communities that welcome them, culture that lets them rebuild slowly. Healing does not always come from therapy. Sometimes healing comes from a new environment, new culture, a new love, a new rhythm of life. But make no mistake, not every man who moves to Southeast Asia is escaping. Some are going because they finally understand that the UK is no longer built for the well-being of men. They leave not because they are weak, but because they are awake. They see the direction the country is going: financial decay, social fragmentation, rising hostility, collapsing community, and they choose to leave before it destroys them. So what does Brexit 2.0 really mean? It means British men are exiting the emotional system of the UK. They are voting with their feet. They are leaving a society that refuses to value them. They are rebuilding themselves in places that still recognize the importance of men, family, and emotional connection. Brexit was political. This is personal. This is spiritual. This is emotional survival. If you are a British man watching this and something in this video feels uncomfortably true, then you already know the answer. You know why men are leaving. You feel the same heaviness, the same frustration, the same longing for something more, something gentler, something real. If this video spoke to you, I want you to do two things. First, share your story in the comments. No matter how dark or painful, your truth matters. You will help another British man who feels exactly like you. Second, support this channel by liking, sharing, and subscribing. It helps this message reach the men who need it most, the ones sitting alone in silence, waiting for someone to tell them they are not crazy, not weak, not broken, just tired of a country that stopped caring about them. Until next time, take care.